Attention crew, the captain is dead. A hostile alien ship is off our port side and we are under attack. We have been boarded and our jump core is offline. We must work together now to save our ship and make our way home.
The Captain is Dead is a big game, but it needn't be an intimidating game. I can teach you how to play and show you the first round of play in less than 10 minutes. In order to win the game, you must repair the jump core. We'll make a series of repairs from the set difficulty level all the way up to engage. For each repair, we'll spend a couple of actions and 5 engineering. We have other systems on the ship as well. The teleporter will allow you to move from one space to any other space for 1 action. We also have a series of upgrades we can apply to the ship for extra bonuses. We can use the trauma station to heal ourselves when we become injured. And we can use the security station to remotely zap aliens anywhere in the ship. Our torpedo tube allows us to fire on the hostile alien ship outside our vessel. We start with 5 torpedoes, but we may need to add more as time goes on. The shields protect us from the damage the alien ship is doing, allowing us to survive. If the shields go below 0, we lose. The comm system allows us to trade cards with players anywhere in the ship. The external scanners allow us to see what's happening outside the ship in advance. The alert deck is essentially the bad stuff in the game. It's the result of the alien attacks on our ship. They progress from yellow to orange to red. Red is particularly brutal, so we want to try and win the game long before we reach it. The captain's journal allows us to draw battle plans, which will help us by giving us one-time special abilities we can use throughout the game. The computer core allows us to draw random skill cards into our hand, and the internal sensors allow us to draw specific cards. The cargo pod starts with a few different cards at the beginning of the game, allowing us to have a selection we can draw from throughout the game. Each player starts with a hand of 5 cards and adds one of those cards to the cargo pod at the beginning of the game. In this case, we've chosen the Chief Engineer. Each character has a rank, which tells you who goes first, has a hand size, which tells you how many skill cards they can hold at any given time, and of course a portrait depicting the character. You then have a series of actions that you can take. Most characters have just 4 actions per turn, and a series of discounts. Most characters have about 2 discounts, and these discounts allow you to do actions without spending skill cards. Then you'll also have a special ability that you can do with your character. In this case, when repairing the jump core, we can do so for 1 less action. Each character has a list of activities that they can perform for 1 action. It's on the back of each character card. For example, you can move 2 spaces for 1 action. You can kill a hostile alien in your location for 1 action. But let's hold on for just a second. There are 3 icons that can give you an indication of special circumstances. First is the medical icon. These are the only actions you can perform while injured. Then is the alien icon. These are the only actions you can perform while there is a hostile alien in the room with you. Then there is the remote icon. These actions can be performed even if you are not in the room. You'll see these on the comm system and the teleporter. Carrying on with the list of actions, you can carry another player 1 space, give a skill to another player in your location, or take a skill from another player in your location. Now that we know how the ship and our characters work, we need to do some initial damage to the ship to set the scene so we can start the game. In this case, our first yellow alert is an alien fighter which remains in play and magnifies any further damage to the shields. We draw one of these cards for each player in the game. Our next card indicates that we'll take 20% shield damage, but we'll take an additional 10% due to the ship that is already in play. Then we can discard that alert and continue. This is our 3rd and final alert. We need to add 2 hostile aliens to the armory. Luckily, there's no one in the armory, so we don't sustain any additional injuries. We're now ready to begin play, starting with our highest ranked character. For her first action, she will use the comm system to give a tactical skill to the medical officer. Next, she'll move 2 spaces from engineering to the computer core. For her third and fourth actions, she will draw 2 cards from the computer core. To complete her turn, we now must draw an alert and resolve it. Her alert knocks the teleporter offline. It also injures all players in engineering, but there are none, so we luck out. The tactical officer begins her turn by using her special abilities and discounts to spend 2 actions to repair the shields. This gives her 2 free skill cards to add to her hand. For her next action, she'll move 2 spaces down into the armory. And she'll spend her fourth and final action to kill a hostile alien in the same location. As with the end of any turn, we must now resolve the next alert in the alert queue. The alert tells us to reduce the shields by 10%, but we must reduce them an additional 10% because that ship is still in play. Additionally, the alert tells us we must take the internal sensors offline. Flip the card, and that card tells us to discard all face-up skills. Since there's no one to heal, the medical officer is looking to kick some alien butt. He'll move 2 spaces to the armory, and with his second action, he'll kill the remaining hostile alien in that location. Then he notices that the alien fighter can be destroyed by firing the torpedo tube. He notes the cost of firing the torpedo tube, uses his discount on command, and spends a tactical card to fire the torpedo. Now all that's left is to clean up. Remove a torpedo from the board, and discard the hostile alien ship. As with everybody else's turn, he'll finish his turn by drawing the next alert in the alert queue. This one says to add 2 hostile aliens to the science lab, but he doesn't want to deal with that. So instead, the medical officer will override this alert by spending 3 command, the first with his discount, and 2 more with his cards. All that's left is to discard that alert. After watching that first round of play, you've got a pretty good idea of how to play The Captain is Dead. If you have any questions, please consult the manual, which is available online at the Game Crafter or in every copy of The Captain is Dead. You can also ask direct questions on Twitter at The Game Crafter.